Hey folks, this is Vince with Ads Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to quickly review Necronator Dead Wrong. This is a game that you can find on Steam for about 20 bucks. So this is another deck building roguelike game, but it does something a little different than Slay the Spire and every other game out there. It's got a tower defense slash real-time strategy element to it, in the sense that you've got this central base and enemies are going to be swarming towards you across multiple lanes. And you have to use the cards that you're being dealt in order to play units, and that will spawn them, and your units will then travel down these lanes as you see fit in order to vanquish them. And your ultimate goal will change depending on the map that you're playing on. It's also got a Slay the Spire-y roguelike overworld map, in the sense that when you beat one encounter, you'll be given a little tree or a branch to choose. Okay, I could go this way and I'll fight an elite boss. If I go this way, I get to go to camp, upgrade a card, or rest and restore health or whatnot. So you've got that typical branching tree that you see in games like Slay the Spire. But the gameplay itself revolves around this, again, defending this base, using your cards to spawn units. And you earn mana over time when you're playing these maps so that you can play these cards. It's not like you have 3 action points per turn and then you have to end your turn. No, this is real time, not turn-based. So you earn this mana over time, kind of similar like Clash Royale. And you play these cards, you'll spawn these skeletons or these archers or whatever, and you're trying to get as far as you can in your run. When you die, or if you happen to be good and actually defeat the final boss in this, there are multiple maps to play across. But once you do beat the boss, or once you die, you'll gain XP toward the hero that you pick. And there are 3 heroes to choose between. One is available in the beginning, and then there are 2 others that you'll eventually unlock by just playing the game. So just getting the level 2, for example, on the one character will unlock the next character. As far as the different cards that are in the game, there's quite a bit. They can be broken up across 3 different types. There's like your unit cards, which are like your skeleton, soldiers, fletchers, blunderbuss units, shadow mages, warlocks. You're an evil team. And then you've got your spells, which are like Meteor Strike, Frost Nova, Armor Up, Shadow Mist, Zap, and these cards do different things. And then you've got your maintenance cards, which, as long as you keep it in your hand, they will buff other cards. So, for example, it might say, I think I had one like Armor or something like that. I'm trying to find one. Spirit Armor, there we go. Squads in hand, +1 armor exhaust. So, you keep it in your hand, and while it is in your hand, it'll give all the squads in your hand +1 armor, which is convenient. But then again, it clutters up your hand size, so it limits how many other cards you're drawing. So if you draw all of these utility cards and have no units to play, you have to spend mana to actually refresh your hand or whatever. So there's a lot of different cards to play. Each character can choose a deck before they actually play and go at it. And as you would expect from a roguelike, you'll be able to get new cards and acquire new cards along the way. And as you play that character, like I said, as you die, start a new game, die, start a new game, you're going to be progressing in level and unlocking new cards for your next run. So your profile with that character will level up over time, and as such, you unlock new content and get a little bit stronger. All of that sounds cool. I mean, you've got your Slay the Spire stuff, your relics, which are permanent buffs for that run. You're upgrading new stuff. You've got different characters that have different decks and different ways of playing, different buffs. All of that is fine. I've got 2 main complaints with this game. One, the content is a bit lacking. It's 20 bucks, and compared to games like Slay the Spire that even have a workshop, Slay the Spire has a lot of content, and that, again, includes the workshop. Necronator Dead Wrong, on the other hand, you can look at the Necronomicon, whatever, which is like the encyclopedia of cards in this game, and there's like I'm just going to count very quickly. I think there's, I want to say, looks like 20 units altogether. That's it. Spell-wise, you're looking at about, I want to say 40, 50, something like that. And then these utility cards, again, 40, 50. So, like, there's not a whole lot of stuff in the game that's hidden for you to find. So I guess one of my biggest complaints really is the gameplay gets repetitive after a while, and you're not seeing a whole lot of differences in the cards that you see. That being said, I mean, the act of playing this game over and over and over again, one can argue, well, you're going to get several hours and hours of playtime out of this, unlocking everything, getting your heroes leveled up to their max level. So one could argue, yeah, it's worth the $20. So I can understand that viewpoint. That's fine. But I think that the game also suffers from a balance issue, and this gets me on the second part of this. Whenever your headquarters or your base takes damage, you're not gaining any sort of mana. So this game suffers from a board game term where a term called diminishing, it's got this diminishing return / runaway leader effect, where if you're not able to gain the upper hand quickly, you'll find yourself fighting this uphill battle that you can't beat. And to make matters worse, on some of the maps you play, there's a reinforcement count. So if you don't beat the map quickly enough, again, it'll just bombard you with even more units to fight, and you quickly fall behind and you die. And again, as they attack your main base, you're not earning anything extra. Like, you're not getting extra mana to cast these spells. So if you see your base getting attacked and you've got 20 mana and you can't cast anything, you're screwed. There's no way to come back from that. So that's a runaway leader problem. Like, if you make a mistake, this game will punish the crap out of you. And even if you get unlucky sometimes with the way RNG works and the way that the units fight each other, you have no control over that. They just fight each other, and whoever wins, wins. Usually it's a rock, paper, scissors kind of thing. So if you get unlucky and, you know, the enemies are attacking your base and there's nothing you can do, you're dead. So, like, there's no way to come back from that. So that's one complaint I have. I would like to see some kind of, okay, if your base is being attacked or you're getting slaughtered badly, let the game, you know, give you some way to possibly come back from that. You know, again, maybe bonus mana for every hit that your base takes, or something like that. For every damage that you take, every one damage you take, you get 1 mana. Something like that. You know, just to give you a fighting chance should you find yourself fighting that uphill battle. The battles themselves, I forgot to mention, it's roughly are anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, if that. And again, it's spawn units across several lanes, and you can click on these signposts to change their lanes. You're going to capture these I guess, outposts, and they will generate mana for you. So that's, again, something you have to do quickly. Because if you don't capture those outposts, you'll find yourself fighting that uphill battle that I was talking about earlier. So, yeah, that's the gist of it. Battles are roughly anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes, maybe even less, depending on how good you are or how lucky you are. And then you pick the next encounter in your branching tree that you've got. And you go as far as you can. So, do I recommend this game at the $20 price tag? Again, one can argue that you'll play this enough to where it warrants the $20 price tag. You also have to consider that there are tons of games like Slay the Spire out on the market. So you could argue that there's a better bang for your buck by buying something like that instead. So maybe a price drop for this game wouldn't be a bad idea. On the other hand, playing devil's advocate, this is a different kind of roguelike. This is a base defense / tower defense / deck builder of sorts that, you're not building towers, but you're spawning units across lanes. So it's like, it does something unique. So I give it props for that. It does something unique. I think this game would be better and more attractive at, say, the $10 price tag, so that it's more competitive with the hundreds of other deck builders out on the market. That's just my opinion. Had this game had more content and more cards and more heroes to unlock, and maybe the Steam Workshop so users can upload stuff like in Slay the Spire, then I would be like, okay, I can understand where $20 might be a more fair price, but this seems like a relatively small game, content-wise. So I'm thinking it's more of a $10 game, but that's again my opinion. That's what I would be comfortable spending had I bought this. So Necronator, dead wrong. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.